Hi, a good day to you, Miss Answer. So I'm Desiree. Today I'm here would like to share with you the project that I did for this semester. So basically, I named my project as the Mosgato. So basically, this building is about academic basis. Okay, now I will start with the 6 site synergy that's collected on the site itself. So basically the site located at Pulau Pinang, Bukit Mataga, and actually I have collected 6 site synergy and I categorized them into 3 categories. So the first one was about exterior, the second one was about interior, and the last one was about details. So the first one, actually the building on the site itself are very close to each other, but if you look closer and carefully, you'll find out that there's actually a gap in between them. So for this one, 80 to 90% of the corridor on the site itself, they'll have an arch thing and they'll lead you to somewhere else that you wanted to go, which means like standing at a point and you look to the end, there's a one point thing. Okay, for this one, it's about the track that's in front of most of the shop that very old and traditional. Although it's already old and traditional and there's like aging, but these things still be functional, whereas function as in like close and shut down the shop. So for this one, I found out that in most of the old houses where it's like staying by the people, they will build a bridge or platform kind of thing to cross to their houses. So for this one, I wanted to bring it to the project later on as well, whereas the concept there's like whole solid thing and void thing. So for this one, actually it's about angle. So from this angle you can see things from here, but if you use torchlight and you turn the other way around, actually inside there's more deeper and you can see other stuff. So for this one, it's about material, like natural material on the site itself were formed by years because it's already old and it's not been damaged by people, but it's naturally been formed as in like patterns like that. Okay, now I would like to move to the next one, which is about the layers, dissection, and collocation. So for this one, we are required to find out 3 layers that influence us on the site itself. So basically, I found out that on the site itself, there's quite a few unwanted and pocket spaces on the site itself. So for this one, actually, the shape that you can see from here, which is the pocket and unwanted spaces that happens on the site. So for this one, thinking of master site influence, whereas there's a potential of activities happen on all these spots that will lead it to my site later on. Example of the activities that they will happen can be like traditional activities, skate park, hot air balloon, market at art festival, or food culture from different country. So these are a few proposals that I think of the potential activities that could happen on the pocket spaces. So the second layer was about the vertical signage that on the site itself. So there's actually like 90% and above shops. I found out that their signage is not like right in front of the shops, but at the left or right side of the shop, which is like a vertical signage, just right in front of the shop. So no longer standing in front of the shop, you already can know what is the shop selling and what are the items that sell by the shop. So this one is about like angle stuff, and I'm thinking of bringing it to the site later on as well. So for the third layer was about the landmark on the site and the activities happen on the site. So there are few landmarks that on the site and also there are few activities that eventually happen on the site, which is like a festival based, because there are lots of prayers there, and also there's a lot of traditional stuff there. So people wanted to buy things, people will go to the site. So for this one, these things happen means that the density and population will gather on the landmark itself. So found out that all the way along that have one thing which is all are connected. So end up form like this, which is the potential pocket spaces, the vertical landmark, the vertical signage, and the landmark and the potential activities that will happen later on. So for this one, from the first to the last layer, actually all of my layer are pieces by pieces and they can be take out and movable. Example, you take out these pieces and exchange with this layer, they are still accessible by along the way. So for this one, actually I have the intention of like using all these master site influencing thing, bring it the people towards to my site later on. So this is the model that I developed, part of model that I developed from the project. Now moving to the basement plan. So basement plan, actually the basement are mostly for parking purpose. So people will come in from here and turn to that side and turn around and access to the parking lot. Then the staircase and lift are provided for them as well, and motorcycle parking are provided as well. So if they don't want to find a parking already, or they want to get out from here, they can just turn around and go out from here. So for this one, next I'll move to ground floor plan. So ground floor, basically here will be pick up and drop off. And then main of this building is about academy bases. So for this whole part will be more open spaces that I will show in the diagram later on. Okay, so this thing will be elevated thing later on, you can see from the upper floor later. So here was a very big open spaces, and the academy of this building, there's three main academy happens, which is Port Academy, Rattan Academy, and Daily DIY Academy. So why I have these three kind of academy is because of the influence on the site itself, which is Bukit Mertajam. So for this part will be Port Academy. This part join with here will be Rattan Academy, and this part will be Daily DIY Academy. So for this part will be eateries and services that are provided to the people, and also this one was the main welcoming places for people, and here are all about the started of the accommodation. And for this side was about all the services, so all the services will happen at the ground level, and here was the loading bay. Okay, moving here and to the upper floor. So there's a few ways that you can access to the first floor, which is through the staircase from the side just now, or from the center here. So only two lifts are provided for the public people. Okay, while you access to here, you'll go to studio that provided and for the student. So basically what was Port Academy does was, the Port Academy, the student have the right and have the option to choose if they want to observe new kind of pot, because traditional way of pot was using the material of clay only. But in this academy, you can also using the material of rattan to make pot, or you can using the material of metal to make pot, or you can using the material of clothes to make pot. So there's possibility of that. Okay, now I would like to talk about the rattan. So there's a open rattan park being provided as well, like overlooking to the downstairs. So for the rattan, basically because on the site influence itself, other than pot, that's one pot shops on the site, because the pot and the rattan like are quite traditional stuff for us, as in like younger generation. We no longer know how to handle it, we no longer know how to like regenerate it. So I would like to think that combination of the modern and also the traditional and make out a new thing and give it to the site later on. So that's called Mosgato. So the next academy was about Daily DIY Academy. So basically the Daily DIY Academy was about the combination of the Rattan Academy and also Quartz Academy. So what was Daily DIY Academy does was they will observe new stuff that which is daily used by the people. As in like, because on the site itself people will go to the shops and buy like the essential thing for kitchen, for daily use, for clothes and so on. So in this site itself, they can regenerate a new thing and also like observe a new thing. There is like experimental places provided them to be a scientist. Okay, so the age target was around 5 years old to primary school and also primary school to late 20. So there's two types of class being provided in this academy. So at here was about the accommodation provided already. There's like a few types of accommodation provided, which is type A to B and also type 1 to 3. Okay, so this is about the accommodation area. Next, moving to the second plan. Okay, so second floor plan was also like the left side, mainly focused same as like public spaces accessed by people, and the upper mezzanine floor that overlooking to the downstairs, because actually there's a lot of like void spaces being created by people, easy to access and overview to downstairs. It's quite open spaces and like enclosed spaces for some area, like this area was enclosed and this area was a void spaces. Okay, the other side was about the more open area that provided to the accommodation, which is a chilling garden and also a BBQ zone. So people could like cook in here and also live in here. So the accommodation basically mean it for students that learn in the academy and also the teachers who teaching at the academy. But somehow there's event happens on this building itself, so there's a guest that could stay in this accommodation as well. Now I'd like to move to third floor plan. So third floor, these 4 blocks are still the same, which is accessible by the public people. So because from the ground floor to the second floor, that they could access from the center, but started from the third floor, they couldn't access from the center and they no longer can access from the center. So they only can use this only staircase and only lift to access to the third floor. So this is about the academy as well. Okay, and the other side was fully focused on the accommodation and no longer join the academy and the accommodation together. So there's the same kind of like the same type of the accommodation, which is like the items in the rooms are the same, but the facade and the typology is a bit different. Okay, from here, since first floor to the upper floor, all of the accommodation center here was being voided, as in like they can just directly see to the lobby, which is ground floor, what's happening. Okay, for here, this is the fourth floor plan. So for fourth plan, nothing will happen on the left, but the right. The right is accommodation as well. So mainly focus on accommodation. So basically the building floor you will see later on, which is from here front elevation So basically this is the elevation that you can see. So this is the main floor block that I did saying just now, which is about more to public people that could access. And this is the center point where it's like link places and the main workshop and classroom that will happen, which is the Ratan Academy, the Port Academy, and also the Daily DIY Academy. And this whole block was about mainly accommodation. So for this one also the elevation that which is I cut in the half of scale 200 that you can see from this side, and this is the other side which is held by a thingy at the center structure. So this is the left elevation and right elevation. So basically this is a thing that elevated that connected to the accommodation. Okay, so for this one also not to scale that you can see from here also. Okay, now I move to the section cut as in like this one is not to scale, so this to scale one is 200, whereas this side that people have potential happen activity here. So basically bottom here was the basement parking, and this one also the accommodation, and this one was the void spaces that I said for the accommodation that they can overlook to the downstairs what was happened. For this one was a whole block thing that popped out, which is academy. So this is the other section that cut from the main side where the public spaces that accessed by the people. And then this one was the component that first want to overview in the axonal viewing. So this is the things that will happen, and actually this one was about like the people on the studio that can have connected to downstairs as well, like from this 2 level, which is the mezzanine floor thing. So this is the to scale drawing that you can see for the component A, which is scale 50. And then this one was the axonometry perspective for the component A, whereas like the connection between like this part and the other part, which is like slanted and the straight one. So this one was the component B. Can I still have like overlook it? And this one was the spaces that I said just now, like more welcoming spaces that people could access, and also to this. Basically, this one was the center part that the linked bridges about the academy and also the accommodation. So this is the center part. So this one is the component C, where it's like from the accommodation part, like the other side. So this one also like scale 50. Okay, and then this one was a breakout of the levels of the perspective that happens on each of the levelings. So from the basement all the way to the 4th level perspective. So this one was a layered and the layout of the shape, void and solid spaces that happen on the building itself, the academy itself. Okay, so this one is about the exploded axonometry. So basically why I put these two is because the one with the real materiality that can see with colors, and the other one was a plain one. Why I make it plain one is because I have the intention of seasonally, because this building is a academic building, so it's create like pots kind of thing, metals kind of thing, daily DIY kind of thing, and also clothes kind of thing. So there's the thing that can create by the academy itself, then putting it on the site itself like seasonally, as in like 4 months once a look, 4 months once a look, and then the things that they can be sold out to the master plan, which is the town as well. So this was the other building that's all of them being stacked up together. So basically this is a part of the thing that I've done. So for this one was about the atmosphere for some spaces that I picked, like to zoom in to see. Okay, so other stuff like adding in the slides later can have a look because I have like reached my time. Thank you for watching.